Good morning, everyone. My name is Dr. Ife Akinsheye Damon. I'm the founder and CEO of the Community-Based Education Movement. I'm an educator of over 20 years. I've taught from preschool to grad school and taught and led at every level in between. I've also taught all the core subjects, math, science, English, and social studies, and so that's allowed me to have a very unique perspective as an educator. And one of the things that I've learned is that regardless of the subject, regardless of the grade level, when the learning is connected to students' real lives, that's when they're more engaged in learning. That's when they're more likely to understand the content, to remember it long term, and to do better on tests. And so my focus over time became around community-based learning. And so my doctoral research focused on why isn't it happening? Why aren't, like, it's such an amazing thing. And by the way, community-based learning is when the classroom and the community come together. And so it's about students finally getting the answer to that age-old question, what does this have to do with the real world? And so by engaging with community partners, by engaging with professionals who use these academic skills in their real lives and showing students how to do projects that are more meaningful and more connected to the real world, is answering that question. And so I started the community-based education movement. So with the research, I found that the reason why it wasn't happening is because of a lack of knowledge and a lack of support. And so the community-based education movement is focused on bringing knowledge and support around implementing community-based learning, but also just bringing awareness in general. So like right now, I'm bringing awareness to community-based learning just by talking about it. And then we also focus on just ongoing research around the effectiveness of implementing it into classrooms. And so what I do as an education consultant is I've created my own curriculum that is called the Community Advocacy Project, where students have to identify an issue that negatively impacts their communities. Then they have to conduct research on the issue, collecting both quantitative and qualitative data from primary and secondary resources. So I definitely, it's a high level, but it's done in an engaging way because it's around something that matters to them. And then once they collect all of their data, they allow that to help them to make an informed decision about how they want to take action towards change. And then at the end of the school year, some of the students participate in an expo where they showcase their action-based research and also make a call to action for the community to help further their causes. And so my background, I was originally, when I graduated from high school, and this goes to what Brother Maurice was just talking about as far as letting other people's dreams. It wasn't necessarily my parents' dream for me to become a doctor, but it was my dream to make them proud. And what's the most proudest thing you can do, for a parent, at least in my mind, was to become a doctor. So I went to Howard University as a pre-med student, but I never even liked science. When you're a pre-med student, you have to be a biology major and a chemistry minor, and I didn't even like science. So it was something like, by the time I was in my sophomore year, it was like, this doesn't make sense. And when I was in high school, I took accounting. And so, and I loved it. And so I ended up moving to Atlanta and becoming a business major and being an accountant for years, but then got into accounting and it was boring. And so I wanted to do something more exciting. And what's more exciting than being a teacher? You don't know what you're gonna walk into every day. And so, so that's my journey, and I share that story because sometimes it's okay to, start on one path and then realize like this path doesn't make sense for me, and be true to yourself. So I just want to absolutely second that. Honor your truth. Like, even if you can't be honest with everyone else, be honest with yourself about yourself. It goes a long way. I'm also a life coach and an artist, so I share that to say that you don't only have to be one thing as well. Thank you all.